All right. So it is Friday, Faith and Business Spotlight Friday, where we highlight an active member of the Daydream community for a quick, maybe 15 minutes or so Q&A. And today I am delighted to have Melissa Williams, who is the founder of A Cageless Life. So tell us, Melissa, welcome first of all.
Thank
But
you.
tell us, welcome. So, tell us about your entrepreneurial journey. We're just going to jump right in because I want to make good use of this time, and I know there's so many things
Yeah.
that I would love to cover. But I wanted you to tell us about your entrepreneur entrepreneurial journey. Like, what inspired you to start your venture, and how did you get it going? T- Tell us.
Oh, well, I really believe that basically God kicked me into this
Ooh,
venture
that
because
happens sometime.
I was in the corporate world, been in the
Mm-hmm.
corporate world for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and like has happened to many of us. I lost my job, part of a reduction in force, and I
Mm-hmm.
found myself faced with the fact that I was burned out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just barely like a couple months leading up to the end of that I was starting to actually realize I was, but
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't, Alicia, realize just how burned out I was until I took a month off.
Wow, that's a real thing for a lot of us, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
and so from there I just started, trying to decide what I wanted to do. And one of the things that I found was that every time I started like looking at other jobs, corporate
Mm,
jobs, because I was going to shift, and I went from being a project management, change management professional. I
mm,
was, working in project management offices, supervising people, uh,
mm,
all the things. And every time I started looking for a job, I just felt in my gut, in the deepest core of me, that that was
mm.
the wrong way to go. So then I
Wow.
I began a journey to listen to the Lord, to listen to what are my next steps. And here we are 2 years later, sitting here
Yeah,
having this conversation.
I know, right? Right. Sometimes you get pressed or challenges happen in our lives and it causes us to shift. But
Mhm.
I do like it, you said, just being quiet and listening and trusting God and how that, what He revealed to you,
Yeah.
which has gotten you to where you are today. So a cage less life, and I love the name. I
Thank
love
you.
what it embodies. It's just I really love that, the idea of living. I see freedom because that's one of my values. Just so I love the name of that, and that's what I see or hear when a cage less life. But
Right.
what problem does your business solve, and why is that important in today's marketplace?
So the problem I solve is
Hmm.
I really want to help people, especially women who are burned out. They are trying to do all the right things.
Hmm.
They've done all the right things,
Hmm.
right? But they still feel like something's missing. So what I
Hmm.
want to do is help people reconnect with their faith,
Hmm.
get realigned with what truly matters, and then embrace that to live the life they were meant to live and live
Yeah.
it more confidently.
Yeah. So would you go ahead?
No, that was it.
Okay. So you are a coach, right? But I'm trying to get at like what, because there are a lot of coaches out here. Everybody's
Yeah.
a coach these days, and I think what I'm hearing is like something unique, and I would love for you to talk a little bit more about that because that whole us really becoming true to who we are. I love that. Um,
Mhm.
but what makes this so like stand out, you're offering in this industry today? Like, what is that for the Cageless Life?
Yeah, so I have so what I've come to understand, Alicia, is that some
Mm-hmm.
people need structure whenever
Mm-hmm.
they come and to work with a coach, and some people want to just bring in what's on their heart, what's on their mind, what's in their goals, right? And
Mm-hmm.
have a coach to walk along beside them to
Right.
achieve those. But I, through my journey, right, I've developed three different structured coaching programs. The first one is a finding real connection,
Mm-hmm.
and that was born out of this journey that I mentioned earlier, right? Learning to
Mm-hmm.
be still, learning to be open, and really deepening my connection with God.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that. It's offered in workshops, group coaching programs, individual coaching, whatever's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another one that is rediscovering you, which is 10 steps to find what's missing. So it helps you in a structured way
Mm-hmm.
walk through and identify what's missing first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just walk through looking at your values, what you're passionate about, what you like to do from a service perspective, just kind of doing almost a 360, but in a very structured way of
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you want to do with life, and then
Yeah.
setting goals to make it that way. And then another one is flying with your strengths, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm very passionate about, honing in on your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And stop trying, for crying out loud, stop trying to fix what's wrong, and
Yeah.
leverage what God gave you from a strengths perspective.
So how does your values, because I think that is important, play into like what you do right now? Because
Mhm.
you're talking about leveraging strengths. So Melissa, just ask you to share a little bit of how that ties in on what led you to where you are right now.
On the strengths part,
Your values.
my values.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my values, I too, Alicia, value freedom, right? I
Mm-hmm.
value freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I value integrity. I value openness and community,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's really what led me here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and it is those values that allow me to be able to connect with people,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to see beyond just what they're telling me, to be able
Yeah.
to empathize with their situation and really help guide them in in a way that, and most times people already have the answers,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just need help unwrapping them.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's in you, and I think it helps to shape what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is why you're able to show up and be that for someone else. So the passion is there, the motivation is there, the focus is there. uh, Tell me a little bit about, or tell us listeners, about like the challenges you face while building your business, and how do you how did you overcome it? Are you still going through some challenges right now? I'm
Oh,
going a little deeper here with you. It's like, I don't know if
yeah.
you're ready to share this yet, but
We'll do this. We'll do this.
let's
You
do
know,
it.
the
Let's do
the toughest part is
it.
doing it
Mm-hmm.
alone.
Mm.
The toughest part, I think, was going from being a leader in the corporate environment and having a
Mm-hmm.
team of people, like teams of people to work with, right? And I
Right.
just thrived on that. I thrived on being able to make those
Mm.
connections. One of the hardest things was learning to work alone.
Mm.
So, to combat that, I have developed close relationships with other entrepreneurs. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I met you.
Right.
um,
Right.
and I have a handful of accountability partners where we work
Mm-hmm.
together and we keep each other motivated and keep each other moving. I also have a mastermind of coaches that I work with.
Yeah.
That same thing, right? We're there to
Yeah.
share the celebrations, pick each
Mm-hmm.
other up when we're feeling like not moving on,
Yeah. It
and then
is.
just
Yeah.
there to encourage. right?
It is.
And then I love being part of the Dare Dream community too, because I found that that's really a supportive group of entrepreneurs, and everyone wants to see each other succeed.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that we cannot do this alone. We're not meant to do this alone.
Oh, not
Right?
at all.
It's like you can look at these partnership, these support pieces that you have here, like your own board room, your people, because like in the big organizations, you have that, you have teams, you have
Right?
departments, but here, as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, doing it on your own, it is hard. I can
Yeah,
certainly relate to that, and I see the value in connecting with others and getting support. So it just makes what is normally a very challenging journey as an entrepreneur even
yeah.
easier in like so. But wonderful. You
But
know,
if I can interject just 1 second, because I
mm-hmm.
really forgot the very most important one,
All right.
which was really allowing God to be the CEO of my business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that I've got all the answers, but really looking to God for guidance, and really
Mm-hmm.
relying on that power
Mm-hmm.
to know which direction to go.
Do you feel like you're living out your calling? I am always interested in is that true? You feel like this is where, or how do you look at that? Because that's a term we throw around
Mhm.
often, like like fulfilling your calling. Can you shed some, like, your perspective on what that means for you?
The short answer is yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do. I really do. And part of that is that connection with God, right? Look,
Mm-hmm.
relying on him, looking to him to give me the answers and the guidance, like being
Mm-hmm.
open to ideas, not closed off.
Mm-hmm.
And contrary to some beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
not making a 5-year plan,
Mm-hmm.
like holding the plan, having plans. I'm not saying don't make plans, don't plan
Right.
ahead, because that's not biblical either, but holding those plans loosely, and
Mm-hmm.
just being ready, willing and ready to shift if I need to.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I wonder sometimes, I know this is a topic, it's a very confusing topic sometimes to some people. We talk about calling, and sometimes you can do something for a long time and you kind of convince yourself like, well, this is where I should be, but what it is really, you just are comfortable there, and you've gotten good at doing that thing that you've been doing for so long.
Mhm.
So I like, where you're talking about really communing with God and the importance of that, and He being the CEO, which is essential, because that, I believe, that's where you get your spiritual downloads from. So you have
Yeah.
direction, so you know what to do. Um, is there anything? I have one more question I'm going to ask, because I don't want this to go on too long. But is there anything more that you want to share about this walk, this faith fuel walk of yours with our listeners?
Of mine, I am on an adventure.
Oh, I love that. It's a good way to look at it.
And that's how I look at it. It's an adventure. Every day is different.
Mm-hmm.
Some days are easier than others. Like
Mm-hmm.
this week has been very frustrated because I've been having problems with my computer, but
Yeah,
it's all
the adventure,
temporary.
of it,
That's right.
right? It's an
But
adventure. If you can look at it like that,
mhm,
and not worry and stress out and be anxious or anything, but just enjoy it. Because, like, you've been talking a lot about stillness. So when that comes up, just maybe it's a moment for you to stop.
yeah,
We say like a pregnant pause, like stop and maybe reflect, think about something else, remind yourself, say a scripture, just be silent for a
exactly.
moment. I mean, this is the space that you play in, and you work primarily with women, but I know you do work with men as well, right? Is that
Yeah,
a correct
yeah.
statement?
I have found, especially with finding real connection,
Mhm.
that really appeals across the board,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like who wouldn't want that?
right?
Really connected with God, the God of the universe. Yeah. So for entrepreneurs, so anyone would be wanting to pursue this journey, starting something, they have a dream in their hearts. What kind of advice? What would maybe one piece of advice that you would give?
Get really clear on your why.
Hmm. Yeah.
Know why beyond knowing why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when things get hard, when you
Yes.
get stuck, it's reconnecting with the why
Yeah.
that helps
The
you get
power.
unstuck.
Yes. I love that. And I think we can close with that. Thank you so much, Melissa. Guys, know your why, but also know that you can reach out to Melissa at a Cageless Life because she is accepting clients. She
Yep.
is a coach. Um, and if you're feeling like you need, like what she's been talking about, like you need some guidance, because I think sometimes we do, but we try to work it out on our own. And I think what you're offering is the opportunity to have someone to talk with.
Someone to
It,
walk
judge
beside you.
Yeah, judgment free, maybe even unbiased, because I had someone said, well, you're my friend, why should I pay you as a coach? And I get, it's like I should be able to come to you and talk to you anytime. And that,
Yeah.
it's different when I'm not so attached to you. Like I know you growing up, and I know you, and I think sometimes we need an outside perspective to help, like where you can open up and share. I'm not favoring one side over the other, but to have someone
Yeah.
like you where you can come and just talk and be there with you, and even draw things that you didn't even realize that you have buried. Like that's what coaching does.
Yeah.
And it's like freeing. It is so transformative. So again, thank you so much, Melissa, for this time getting to know you. And guys, reach out to Melissa. I know you have a complimentary, they can call or something like that.
Yep. We
Is that
have a
it's a
discovery
lot?
session. You can call, you can book that for free. 30
Right.
minute conversation. Let's find out what's on your heart and see if we're a good fit to work together.
Exactly, and you need that. You need to see if you, because there are a lot of coaches out there, but that discovery call will help you figure out. It's like,
That's right.
is she my person? Is she my coach? Right, and so I
Exactly.
think you have more to gain than to lose. So please reach out. Thank you so much, Melissa, and I'll see you around the community.
Sounds great, Alicia. Thanks for this opportunity.
My pleasure.